Hey, this is Smokin' Dave, and you're listening to a man who was voted most handsome podcaster by the Association for the Blind. It's the Kevin Friedman Show.
Hey now, it's Tuesday, June 19th, and another SportsGossip.com podcast is on the air. I'm your host, Kevin Friedman, along with my announcer, Smokin' Dave, and together we will bring you 10 of the hottest stories off the SportsGossip.com website. Dave, start us off with story number 1.
LeBron James spotted in Houston touring private high schools.
Yes, according to a couple of inside sources, the talk was LeBron was in Houston on Friday touring high schools for his sons. Now, this comes after a report that his wife was checking out schools in Los Angeles last week, and according to NBA sources, the Lakers, Rockets, and Cavs are the three teams with the best chance of signing LeBron. Now, in my opinion, if LeBron goes to LA, his championship days are over. And I don't care if Paul George comes with him, and they keep Lonzo Ball. They still have no shot of beating Golden State. They're simply not good enough. Now, if he goes to Houston, joins James Harden and Chris Paul, his chances definitely improve, and I'd say there's at least a 50-50 shot they knock off Golden State in the Western Conference Finals next year. If LeBron stays in Cleveland, and they don't sign at least 2 of the top 5 free agents available with LeBron, then there's no way they can beat Golden State either. Now, I've said it all along on this podcast. I think LeBron's best chance is to go to Oklahoma City, join Westbrook, bring a Paul George or a DeMarcus Cousins with you, and that's your best chance of beating Golden State. But if that's not going to happen, and I've heard no chatter about LeBron to Oklahoma City, so I guess it's not going to happen, then going to Houston is the most logical choice for LeBron if he wants to win titles. If he chooses the Lakers, then I truly believe he's given up on trying to win titles. Could he pull an upset in the playoffs with the Lakers team and knock off Golden State? It's not impossible, but it's not very likely. Now, I still think LeBron wants championships. And if that's the case, Oklahoma City and Houston are the only 2 options I see that'll put him on a team good enough to beat Golden State. Until he makes his decision, this is going to be the story of the summer, and we'll just have to wait and see, like the rest of the world, what LeBron wants to do with the rest of his career. Dave, what's next?
Russia celebrated World Cup win with a trumpet-playing bear.
After Russia's big 5-0 win over Saudi Arabia last Thursday, a trumpet-playing bear was spotted riding through the streets of Moscow, celebrating the big win. You can go to sportsgossip.com to watch the video. This gigantic bear is sitting in the back seat of a truck, sitting right next to another guy. He's playing the trumpet. People are going crazy. Towards the end of the video, the bear gives the up yours signal to somebody. I mean, is this normal in Moscow? I know I wouldn't want to be sitting next to a bear, and I'm sure it's trained, but come on, it's still a bear. And I want to know who taught it the up yours signal, because that guy's a genius. Oh, I see we have one of our loyal sponsors on the phone who wants to discuss this. It's the owner of Ivan Babushka's Dining Emporium and everybody's favorite Russian, Ivan Babushka. Ivan, what's up?
Milosh, Kevin. This trumpet-playing bear is hottest thing in Russia, and I have special announcement. I have hired trumpet-playing bear to perform exclusively at Ivan Babushka's Dining Emporium for the next 3 days. In fact, I have him here right now. Would you like to talk to him?
Would I like to talk to him? What do you mean, the bear talks?
Actually, I do not know I said that. He does not talk. But you can hear him play trumpet. This bear was trained in America by world-renowned trumpet player Gary Delabate.
All right, let's hear the bear. Wow, I gotta say, Ivan, even for a bear, that's horrible.
Well, I would have to agree with you, Kevin, but he brings in so much business I do not care.
Well, Ivan, your Russians have their second game later this afternoon versus Egypt. You got any predictions?
Like the great Ivan Drago said in Rocky IV, I only have one prediction for those Egyptian bastards. Pain!
Well, I think Mr. T said that in Rocky 3, not Ivan Drago in Rocky 4, but we get what you mean. Ivan, thanks for the call. Dave, what's next?
Todd Haley says the Browns quarterback room is the best he's had.
Now, if you're a Browns fan, I wouldn't get your hopes up because Haley is saying this purely out of bitterness. He was the offensive coordinator for the team with the most offensive talent in the league, and he couldn't keep his job simply because everybody hated him. It was public knowledge he didn't get along with Big Ben. It's also public knowledge that 3 coaches voluntarily left Pittsburgh after Haley's first season with the team simply because they couldn't get along with him. He's known as a very arrogant guy. He got in multiple altercations in Pittsburgh in public with his wife, and not to mention before all of that, he coached Kurt Warner in Arizona. So for Haley to say Tyrod Taylor, Baker Mayfield, and Drew Stanton is the best quarterback room he's ever worked with is simply a lie. Haley's now got to go from a team that had Big Ben, Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown, and one of the best offensive lines in the league to the Cleveland Browns. Good luck to him. Dave, what's next? What's that, Dave? Todd Haley's on the phone? All right, put him on. Haley, you're on the air.
I heard what you said, Friedman. And you know what? You're an asshole, because I got a great personality. Everybody loves me. And if you got a problem with that, then fuck you, fuck Smoking Dave, and fuck all you listeners out there, too. Because I'm a great guy. Now fuck off.
All right, Todd, thanks for calling in and clearing that up. Dave, what's next?
Ted Cruz beat Jimmy Kimmel in one-on-one basketball game for charity.
11-9 was the final score of the Blobfish Basketball Classic, where Texas Senator Ted Cruz was victorious over late-night talk show host Jimmy Kimmel. Now, I watched this last night on Jimmy Kimmel's show, and I must say they chose the wrong sport, because both of them embarrassed themselves. The game was supposed to go to 15 and have no timeouts, and when the score was 4-3, they both looked like they were going to have heart attacks and die. So they changed the rules in the middle of the game, made it winner to 11, and added timeouts and a halftime show. Now, I saw the edited version of this, and I can't imagine how bad the unedited version looked. They did put on an entertaining show, and the money went to charity, so we'll give them that. But next time they decide to compete against each other, they should maybe choose ping pong. Dave, what's next?
J.R. Smith's Oops Game 1 Finals jersey up for auction.
Now, this story's unbelievable. I mean, I always assumed players got to keep their jerseys, but I guess I was wrong, because the NBA is auctioning off J.R. Smith's jersey from Game 1, and currently the bid's up to $8,060. I mean, what nutcase wants this for $8,000? If you're telling me this thing's going to go up in value and he's going to be able to sell it in 20 years for $40,000, you're crazy. Nobody's even going to remember this play in 20, 30 years. And no one's going to remember J.R. Smith. If this happened in Game 7, maybe. But it happened in Game 1. It was a huge play, but paying $8,000 for the jersey of the guy who made the play is insane. If I'm LeBron, I'm bidding $20,000 right now and ending this nightmare by burning the jersey the second it gets shipped to me. I mean, $20,000 is like $20 to LeBron. I'm shocked he hasn't made the bid already. In fact, I wouldn't be shocked if J.R. Smith or LeBron is the guy who bid $8,060. All right, that's 5 stories down. We got 5 to go, but we got to take a break. We'll be back right after this.
Hello, this is a Big Dog, and in honor of World Cup, I have a very special item for sale. I have penis enlargement pump used by soccer star David Beckham. I give you a very good deal. You contact me. It's bigdog@yahoo.com. Thank you.
And we're back. Dave, give us that next story.
There's a LeBron James strain of weed called LA Bron James.
Well, LeBron hasn't signed with the Lakers yet, but that didn't stop rapper The Game and his business partners from naming their latest strain of weed LA Bron James. You can go to sportsgossip.com to see a video of the rapper and his business partners showing off the new strain. It looks pretty good to me. Dave, you smoked this stuff yet?
I'm smoking it right now. Michael Jordan's weed is way better.
Well, I'm sure MJ's weed is way better, but LeBron sounds pretty good too. Now what's next?
Meet Brooks Koepka's girlfriend, Jenna Sims.
Koepka won his second straight U.S. Open this weekend at Shinnecock Hills in New York, and that's where we were introduced to his hot girlfriend, Jenna Sims. You can go to sportsgossip.com to look at pictures of her at the course celebrating with her boyfriend. Sims is an actress and model who has appeared in numerous movies and TV shows, such as Attack of the 50-Foot Cheerleader, Sharknado 5, and Dexter. Let's hope she was on the early seasons of Dexter, because it was a great show early. The last couple seasons were horrible. Anyways, you can go to sportsgossip.com to look at a bunch of pictures of her. Dave, have you checked these pictures out?
Oh yeah, and let's just say, I would love to show her my shinny cock.
Ugh, Dave, you are one sick bastard. What's next?
Jay-Z named president of Puma Basketball.
The shoe company already made their first NBA endorsement deal for the brand in 2 decades by signing projected first-round picks DeAndre Ayton, Marvin Bagley III, and Zaire Smith, and now they've named Jay-Z as president of Puma Basketball. Now obviously Nike dominates this market. They have since the 80s, thanks to Michael Jordan. And as a guy who grew up playing basketball pretty much every day of my life, I'll admit I only wore Nikes, but the main reason why is because they had good traction. I mean, if you're not playing on an NBA court, and you don't have people wiping it down every 2 seconds, anybody who plays basketball knows you need to have good traction on your shoes, or else you'll spend the whole game spitting on the floor and wiping your shoes in them. So hopefully Jay-Z knows this, because the key to a good basketball shoe is good traction. It's as simple as that. Dave, what's your brand on the court?
I told you a few weeks ago I only wear penny loafers.
You wear penny loafers when you're playing basketball.
Of course not. I only play basketball in the nude.
I should have figured that. What's next?
Kristaps Porzingis' ACL rehab includes partying on a yacht with a busty blonde.
The Knicks center was spotted on a yacht this weekend with a very hot blonde, and you can go to sportsgossip.com to check out pictures of them both, and included is a picture of Porzingis jumping into the water. So I guess Knicks fans will assume he'll be back by December, which was the earliest he could possibly be back from his ACL injury. It's also possible he can miss the entire season. We'll just have to wait and see, and let's be honest, does it really matter? Porzingis is great, but the rest of the Knicks suck. So even if he was 100% healthy, this team would struggle to make the playoffs in the weak Eastern Conference. Before we get to our final story, I see Ivan Babushka is back on the line. What is it, Ivan?
This message is for Egyptian soccer team. I must break you. And if he dies, he dies.
Alright, Ivan, that didn't really make much sense, but at least you got the Ivan Drago quotes right. Anyways, again, thank you for the call, and good luck later today when your Russian boys take on Egypt in the World Cup. Dave, give us that final story.
Charles Barkley has insane answer on Family Feud.
So the NBA from TNT guys went up against the Major League Baseball channel guys in Celebrity Family Feud, and Barkley was asked if a man's zipper breaks at church, what might he use to cover it up? Now there's not too many answers you can give. Go with your hand, your suit jacket, a Bible, and then next I would have went with what Barkley went with, a kid. And obviously others agreed because he got some points for the answer. But he got mocked for it. And you can go to sportsgossip.com to watch the video. Barkley and Shaq were both hilarious on the show. Steve Harvey was pretty funny too. And Shaq and Chuck made it to the final and ended up winning. So Barkley got the last laugh. Dave, you've told us you've been on The Love Connection and The Price is Right. Have you ever been on Family Feud?
It was 1982. Ray Combs was the host. I was the head of my family, so I was first up, and I won the buzzer. The question was, what do you like to do on a sunny day? So of course I said, get naked and do stretches in the front yard. Well, next thing you know, me and my whole family were thrown off the show, and I was banned from the set for life.
Dave, you and game shows do not mix. And that'll wrap it up for another SportsGossip.com podcast. I want to thank my announcers, Smokin' Dave. I want to thank Ivan Babushka and Todd Haley for calling in. And of course, thank you for listening. As always, for these stories and much, much more, you can go to our website at SportsGossip.com. Our next podcast is Friday. And until then, we'll see you next time.